I think my fucking hotel room's haunted.
Hello and welcome to REKT Podcast. I am Bunchu, alongside my esteemed colleague and co-host, Crypto Chamber. Chamber, how you doing?
Doing pretty good, man. I'm coming to you from a Marriott Residence Inn in beautiful Winnipeg, Manitoba.
Oh my God!
So
what time is it there?
It is
East Coast or West Coast?
It's only Central, so it's like the same time as Chicago.
Okay, so it's 7 o'clock there.
Yeah.
Wow, look at you.
Got up bright and early, had a shower, after we're done this, I'm going to hit the road in my rented Jeep Sahara Wrangler.
Oh my goodness,
electric
look
blue.
At you. Wow.
Such an eyesore.
I feel like this is like the opposite of what you're normally like.
Yeah, this is not a typical
You're not
day.
a morning person.
No,
I wouldn't call you a morning person.
I wouldn't call me a morning person either. The only shitty part about this hotel, it is directly on a railroad line. So I didn't hear any last night, but when they come by, you're aware of it.
Yeah, that's the worst. So speaking of last night, I mean, you want to just get into it?
So the reason I was up bright and early is I don't know what happened last night, but I had fucking terrifying nightmares, recurring nightmares. You know, where you'd wake up. Like I think I went to bed around midnight and woke up at like 2, then woke up at 4, then woke up at like 5:30, and like same nightmare over and over. It was just kind of continuing the story of like, and this nightmare was. I can't, you know how like you remember it as soon as you wake up, and then as time goes by, you remember it less and less. But essentially, somebody I knew. And I don't remember, like, I don't think it was like an actual person I knew, like sometimes people in dreams that like,
right.
You don't really
feel like you know them, but they're not really there. Yeah,
exactly. And he was basically like murdering like people, like family and friends, like throughout this dream. And like people were like, I knew about it, but I think I was like the only person that knew, and I was kind of helping him like hide the fact. I'm like, I just kind of didn't want to deal with it. And like slowly people kept finding out like, oh, he had murdered this person and he had murdered this person. And I'm like, so I'm not sure if my hotel room is haunted and maybe there was like a huge murder that happened here and I'm just reliving it through sleeping in this room. But I did not like it one bit. I did not sleep well. And so I woke up early, had a shower, washed off the stink of that nightmare, and brewed some coffee, and here I am.
Who was the best person they killed?
Like, no, it was like it was like bad. It was like he killed his wife. I think he killed his kid. Like, it was bad. Like,
my goodness.
Yeah, it was not good kills. Like, they were bad. And I think like his mother was like one of the people that found out and like was talking to me about, like, it was not
Can
good.
we make this a recurring segment, Chambers Dreams?
Yeah.
I really like this, actually.
Yeah,
I want to hear the weird shit that you dream about.
I really got to stop either watching horror movies. Like, I don't know. It's have I watched anything? Nothing too horrific. Well, maybe I shouldn't say that. I rewatched a couple of horror movies not that long ago, but. Well, I guess I have a recommendation then, I guess, if it's...
All right, let's get into a recommendation. Into a recommendation.
Not horror specific, but...
horror adjacent?
Yeah, I mean, definitely horror adjacent. The first one is Hunters on Amazon Prime. I've only seen...
you told me about this yesterday.
I'm telling you, man, like, it was phenomenal. I only watched the first episode. The first episode, I think, is like an hour and a half. It's like a double first episode. And it is Al Pacino, who I tip my hat to, because I feel like Al Pacino, like that ilk of actor, for the majority of their career, probably poo-pooed television, shows, or, you know what I mean? Like they're kind of old Hollywood kind of thing. And he saw where the trend was going, and he signed up to be like the lead on this show, Hunters. And essentially what he is a Holocaust survivor, and that's where the horror comes in. And he has partnered with other Holocaust survivors and other sympathizers to basically hunt down Nazis in the 70s. It's fucking phenomenal.
Interesting.
It's so good. And I mean, right from the get-go, like the first scene is fantastic. And I mean, you are sucked in right away. Like you're like, this is high quality, high production value, great acting. Only saw the first episode. There's 10 episodes. Highly recommend. The other one I started watching.
Interesting. That's one of the ones I actually saw a trailer of it when I went to the movie theater the other day.
Really?
So,
so they must be putting a ton of money behind it because,
yes,
like I said, the production value is through the roof.
Interesting.
But yeah, the other one I started watching, it's good. We need like the. So I would say
I told you need to scale these.
Exactly.
We now need to scale these because of the
what's the
stranger
scale
incident. Stranger scale.
That's exactly what it's called.
It's the stranger scale.
So is it out of 5?
I mean, it's your world. We're just living in it. Chamber.
Okay, so we'll do it out of 5. I'm gonna give Hunters 5. 5 on the strangers.
5 strangers.
5 strangers. I'm gonna give the second one maybe 3.75 strangers.
3.75 strangers. Yeah. That's still high on the
high enough. Exactly. I don't want to. Yeah. I don't. And it's on Netflix. It's called Lock and Key.
Interesting.
They're promoting it fairly heavily on Netflix as well. So that's a good one. A little bit more like Stranger Things meets like Narnia, I would say.
Interesting.
So I mean, not for everybody, but it's
Narnia things.
Yeah. Exactly. Narnia things.
Narnia things.
So yeah.
All right, I got one.
What do you got?
I think I mentioned this to you, but I did not mention it on the podcast, so I will throw this out there. I'm giving it 4 out of 5 strangers. It is a documentary on HBO.
Okay.
It is called McMillions.
Yes, you did tell me about this.
Yes, if you don't know what it is.
I don't know what it is. The only thing I saw was a McDonald's fry thing on the front of the.
Oh, you don't. So you don't know what it's about.
I assume McDonald's, but that's it.
Well, okay. A couple years ago, this huge story came out about how all through the 90s, like from 1988 to like the mid 90s, the McDonald's Monopoly game. Where you could win millions of dollars, instant $1 million winners, all kinds of prizes, cars, boats, everything, all fixed, all rigged. And
really,
yes. And this,
I knew that in my heart because I would never win.
This documentary shows you the whole story behind its rigging and the people involved and how it happened and all this stuff.
Very interesting.
Super interesting. Like. I've read the story, so I, kind of knew a little about it going into it, but it's still really, 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 really good. So if you like that kind of thing, because it's like, crime. I mean, their interview FBI, like there's this main guy that's the FBI agent that was behind it all. He's very entertaining. Like they show you how all the stings went down. Like it's pretty cool. So you should check out McMillions if you
definitely
have not.
Gonna watch it now.
I think also there's a podcast about it as well.
Oh, with a listen to podcast to go along with it.
Yes. So like I haven't dabbled in the podcast yet, but I've seen it and I don't know how it relates to the actual documentary, but I know you're a big podcast guy.
Well, that's a big thing. I feel like in the last couple of years that like popular TV shows will have complimentary podcasts to go along with it, and I haven't dived into that very much, and I probably should.
Yeah. So I think you would enjoy both. So that's my recommendation. So you had your nightmare real life REKT.
Yes.
I have one. I have an almost real life REKT. Riggedy REKT, son! That happened to me on Saturday or Sunday, and it would have involved my wife being kicked out of the house completely. it got real close. So,
Wow.
So
Wow.
we
All right.
we come home from the movie theater, and we indulged on our some snacks. The big salty popcorn, the chocolate treats, all that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah.
And so we're sitting there, and she says, she's like, "Man, my wedding rings are feeling kind of tight. I must have had like too much salt."
Yeah.
And her wedding ring, she's got 3 of them. She's got like the
What?
engagement ring and like 2 bands that go one in back, one in front of it, right?
Okay.
And so she, I guess, so she just made that comment. She went away into the kitchen. We both go into the kitchen, and I came back into the living room, and I catch my dog with one of the rings like in his mouth. And he's like on the table, and he's trying to, I don't know if he was trying to eat the ring or just play with this shiny thing or
Sure.
whatever.
He's a dog. We don't know what he's thinking.
Right. Maybe he's taking it to a jeweler. Who knows? But so I see him like trying to get it, and I yell at him, and I'm like, wife, like he's got this ring, like, you can't leave your rings like that. And she goes, well, where are the other 2?
Oh no.
She goes, all 3 were on the table.
Oh.
All 3 were on the table, and I just give her this look like, you better get over here, you better find the rings, or you're gonna be sleeping in the car.
I was gonna say, or you're gonna have to go to the store and get some rubber gloves because somebody's sifting.
Yep, right, exactly. And I'm like, you're walking this dog until he poops everywhere. And so we walk over to the area, and it turned out he had just knocked them off the table underneath the couch, and but it was a close call that
I'm actually surprised with how, like, I understand the cost that goes into getting a wedding ring and the follow-up rings. That you have 3. My wife only has 2, so
I would say most people only have 2, but the way these bands, her bands are, they kind of like go around the they're like cut to go around the engagement ring, you know what I mean?
But I'm surprised how frustrated you were of the fact that because the reason I say that is I guarantee you're going to lose your ring eventually.
I guess I think the big thing is, well, I almost have lost my ring, actually.
I've lost mine twice. Yeah. I've had
to the point where you've had to get new rings?
I got a new ring. And then I got 2 of the same ring just in case I lost the second ring.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I think there's a very large differential in cost between what my ring cost.
I totally understand that. I mean, mine, I believe I paid, fudge, if I paid $100 for my first one.
For your ring.
For the first one, yeah, exactly. And maybe for 2, I may have spent $300 the second time. Like, for me,
my ring was $350.
Yeah, I'm not spending a ton of money.
Hers, on the other hand,
yeah, exactly, probably 10 times that, right?
She's fucking Beyonce. Jesus. Anyway,
I hear you.
So that was my real life REKT.
That's good.
Before we get into the news, we should probably do this segment. It's called From Start to Finish. Chamber, do you have any idea what I'm talking about?
No. I'm so scared right now.
Finish.
Oh, that's right. Sorry, I'm not as smart as you. You use these very witty jokes. So yes, from start to finish. I'm probably going to find the national anthem for Finland.
Yes, we should put it in here.
I don't know what that is, but we'll find it.
Tässä tulee hirmuinen rööli. On mulla metsässä tölli. Ja siellä mä asustelen. Ja sieltä mä hiippailen.
So I was looking this morning, and I gave you a little update on where we are in the charts. And for the U.S., we're in the top 100. In Canada, we're in the top 60. Australia, we're in the top.
And this is in what? Tech news?
This is tech news, correct? Yeah. But the shining star on this one is we are number 1 in Finland for tech news.
Wow.
We are number 9 for all news podcasts in Finland.
What is there like? What is there 9 podcasts? In Finland?
Exactly. All about fish pickling. And out of all the podcasts in Finland, we are ranked number 74.
Wow.
So
all Finnish podcasts.
Absolutely.
I think the next time, I'm going to have to learn how to say "Welcome to REKT" podcast in Finnish.
Finnish? I don't know. Yeah.
The Finnish language. So here I've picked up 10 interesting facts about Finland as a tribute to our number 1 tech news status in Finland. Number 10, there are more than 3 million saunas in Finland.
Big sauna community in Finland.
This is, I
think they originated there, right?
I would think so.
Yeah.
Sauna sounds Finnish.
Yeah.
It's an integral part of culture in Finland. Relaxing, socializing, a sauna is a necessity, and in the past, most Finnish women give birth in a sauna.
Really?
Huh. How about that? Number 9. The Finns absolutely love to drink milk. Annual consumption per person in Finland is 34.34 gallons.
Holy shit.
Highest milk consuming nation.
Wow. Who'd have thought?
Yeah. Yep. I don't know what this means.
I wonder if that includes chocolate milk.
Probably. It says the Finns consume milk in both its liquid form, such as sour milk or curd milk, as other dairy products like ice cream, cheese, and yogurt. So probably. I don't know what this is. Oh, okay. Number 8. The wife-carrying race originated in Finland. Wife-carrying, also known in Finland as some word I can definitely not pronounce, is a competition in which men have to carry their female teammate, traditionally their wives, and race against each other and competitors through special obstacle track, and the one who finishes first is declared the winner.
That's fantastic.
The winner receives a prize of beer worth the weight of his wife. Oh my God. Dude, why the fuck do I not live in Finland?
See, it's kind of like a tricky, it's weird. You got to find the sweet spot, because if your wife is too light, then you're not,
then
you'll probably win. You won't get as much beer. So you have to find a nice, reasonable woman.
But so far, these 3 things are all I need. Like, give me some chocolate milk.
Yeah.
Some, a sauna, and let me carry my wife for a beer prize, and we're in.
So far, you're winning this one, Finland.
Number 7. Finland is the only home of the endangered Sama ringed seal.
Ooh.
Yes.
Look at that.
Only about 380 individuals of these species live today.
Interesting.
Number 6, the longest palindromic word comes from the Finnish language, 19 letters long.
So for those of you listening, if I'm not mistaken, a palindrome is a word that is spelt the exact same way frontwards as it is backwards. Is that correct?
Correct. And this is 19 letters long. I could not say it if you asked me to. And it in Finnish means a lie or caustic soda dealer.
What?
like lie, like in
like a lie. Okay, sorry. Yeah.
Lie, like in
washing your clothes or making soap. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like Fight Club. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. A dealer of one of those.
Okay.
Number 5. Here you go. This works for us too. The Finns drink more coffee than anyone else.
Really?
The Finns consume an impressive 12 kilograms of coffee per person annually. Coffee is not only an everyday drink in the country, but also a celebratory drink.
I feel like I do. I feel like I do 12 kilograms of coffee a year.
I probably do too, but not everybody in America does.
No.
Okay, this is great too. Man, Finland, I think we just need to fucking move there.
Finland we hardly knew ye.
Finland is killing it. Number 4, Finland celebrates a day for failure. Finland celebrates failure on the 13th of October each year. The first such day was held in 2010 by Finnish university students. It soon became very popular and attracted big names in Finnish society. Today, many famous politicians, artists, media personalities, and others support the day for failure and share their own stories of failure and how they overcame their problems. The day is celebrated to allow people to open up about their problems in life, gather encouragement from society and others who have suffered similar fates but still managed to persevere.
That's bananas.
My whole life is a day for failure. Number 3, the world's second longest tunnel is located in Finland. The Piajan Water Tunnel is 120 kilometers long tunnel in southern Finland. It supplies fresh water to millions of Finns living in the region. Number 2, oh, this is great. Finland is Europe's prison break capital.
Really?
While Finland is praised for its progressive open prison system, it also suffers from drawbacks. In Finland, prisoners are allowed to circulate in the surrounding community during daytime. They can study, work, or shop like free individuals. Such a system is considered to be cost-effective and is also believed to lower reoffending rates. However, the system also makes it easy for prisoners to escape. Finland's prisoners have escaped at a rate of 1,084 per 10,000 inmates, which is highest in Europe.
1,084 per
out of 10,000 inmates.
Is that 10%? No. Is that what that is?
Yeah, it's more than that. It's slightly more than 10%, yes.
Wow.
Number 1, Finland has one of the world's most powerful passports. Individuals with a Finnish passport can access 175 countries around the world without a visa. It is the world's 3rd most powerful passport after those of Germany and Singapore.
Really?
Finland, you rock.
Good on you, Finland. And
Good
great choices in tech news and news podcasting.
Great taste, yes.
Yeah.
I hope you're all listening to us in a sauna while giving birth and drinking milk right now.
Living the dream. Living that Finn dream.
And if you're not, I'm hoping you're escaping prison. All right, before we get into some news, let's talk about the market.
Yeah, I feel like you should be talking about the market because
nanny nanny poo poo, I'm better than you.
Yeah, no kidding.
I've been harping on the LARPing going on with the last chance below 10K garbage. I mean, eventually it'll happen. Eventually it'll be last chance.
But until then, you're king of the castle.
King of the castle. You'll never get this. La, 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 la. My wife. So, yeah. I mean, just 2 days ago, we were like flirting with 10K, weren't we?
Yeah, we were 2 days ago. We were 1, 2, 3. We were at 99. So 3 days ago, we were at basically 10K.
Yeah. And today, as of this recording, we are at $8,803. It got to as low today as around 85.30.
It just it just broke the 200-day moving average and then popped right off. So it seems to be where it's.
Well, that's a good sign. If it breaks the 200-day, that's when you need to.
Right, exactly.
If it starts closing below the 200-day, that's where you need to hide your kids, hide your wife.
Yeah. So the last time it bounced on the 200, it was 88. It was 83.40 basically, and then it popped all the way to 10.5, and now it's just tapped it again. So we'll see if it bounces. It's going in the right direction currently. So the 200-day touch was at about 8,600, and it's bounced a little bit from there.
Yep. Interesting. So we've got, the market doing negative things. 88.03 for Bitcoin right now, 228 for Ethereum, down 3%. The standard at 23 cents, down 0.5%.
I guess we should. I was just looking at what I think we should probably talk. I think on the last episode, I was bragging about my Cody call.
Oh yeah, let's talk about that.
So I think at the time of recording, I think it said it hit 320.
Yes, that's what you said.
Something like that. Well, shortly thereafter, Binance announced that it was going to be listing it. So it shot up. So I think some of the momentum was maybe some insider info on that it was going to be hitting Binance. And then once the info came out, it spiked up to about 380, which I sold a little bit. I sold, like I mentioned, I was selling on the way up. I think I had sold right around some at 370. And then I was kind of like waiting to see if Binance would, kick it into gear even more. But it dumped shortly thereafter. From at the very top, about 388, it dumped the very next day all the way down to 194. Like that, there was some fucking
wow.
There were some people that got just annihilated on this one.
Wow.
So don't FOMO. I think I tweeted out too. I said, Cody, no FOMO. Some
brutal.
of you FOMO'd. Maybe not you guys, but some people did.
Yeah, I would hope we wouldn't have the FOMO crowd.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think we do.
We try not to promote the FOMO.
Yeah, so it's rebounded a little bit. So it went as low as 194. Now it's about 245. So,
Word.
Still far away from the top, though.
Yeah, that is. But Tezos is up 5% today.
Fucking Tezos just keeps rocking.
279. 279. Wow.
Yeah, I don't have a bag of that.
I don't either. So, anyway, shall we get into the news?
Yes, sir.
All right, Chamber, what do we got?
Well, what do we have? That's a very good question. Let's start out by talking about how rich CZ is.
Speaking of dumping on Binance.
Yeah, exactly. Binance CEO, his net worth has doubled in the past year to $2.6 billion, according to I want to say Harun or Harun. I don't know who that is or what that is, but let's continue the read and we'll find out. Binance CEO Changpeng Zhao is the wealthiest person in the crypto and blockchain space, according to the 9th edition of the Hurun Global Rich List. CZ's net worth has doubled in the past year to $2.6 billion, according to this list, published on Wednesday. Last year, the CEO's worth was $1.3 billion. So the second richest person in crypto is Bitmain co-founder Mikri. Not going to pronounce that second name. I don't know how. Zhan, who holds the net worth of $1.6 billion, according to Hurun. Notably, Zhan's net worth has almost halved as compared to last year at 2.7. So they essentially switched spots. So last year, the Bitmain guy was 2.7, and his net worth got cut in half, and CZ's doubled to 2.6, and he is now number one, and Zhan's now number two. Zhan was ousted from Bitmain by another co-founder, Jihan Wu, in October. Interestingly, Wu did not make it to the Harun's list this year. Last year, Wu was his net worth was $1.5 billion. So I don't know why he didn't make the list, but he is not.
Wu is me.
Wu is him, indeed. Other crypto billionaires for this year include Zhu Mingjing's founder of OKX at $1.4 billion.
REKT podcast.
Yeah, REKT podcast at $1.2 billion. I mean, it is split between the two of us. So I mean, it's
right. Together we make the list. But.
Exactly. Chris Larson, executive chairman of Ripple's board, with $1.3 billion.
The standard.
Li Lin, founder of Huobi, at $1.1 billion, and Brian Armstrong, CEO of Coinbase, at $1 billion. Overall, Amazon CEO Jeff Bezos retains the top spot on the rich list in 2020 with a net worth of. And you want to take a guess on this one?
What? Say that again.
So Jeff Bezos, he's number one on this list. What is his net worth?
Oh, what is his net worth?
Yeah.
It's got to be like 200 billion.
Close. A little high, but close. 140 billion.
That's outrageous.
It's so crazy because I like to, as somebody that, watches celebrities, I think we all do. I always like to find out what somebody's worth. Like, I'm always interested on Jerry Seinfeld when I watch, comedians in cars getting coffee. I'm like, this guy's fucking super rich. And I think I check him once in a while. I think he's just under $1 billion. It's like maybe 800 million. And that's like, to me, if you're like if you have like $100 million, to me, that's like super wealthy. You know what I mean? Like that's,
of course.
You're in a different level.
I mean,
like that's a different level. Like you can be a millionaire.
$20 million is like
$20 million is like a average millionaire, I would say. You know what I mean? Like once you get to that 100, like again, I'm nowhere close to that. I've only have a few million in my bank, but but like for real,
a few dollars.
Yeah, I got a couple shekels. But yeah, like the way I kind of rate these things is like the $100 million mark. That's when it's like impressively rich. And then to see somebody with like 140 billion, not 140 million, 140 billion is just absolutely insane. So apparently his net worth is down 7 billion. So he was almost at 150, mainly due to the world's largest divorce settlement with his wife Mackenzie Bezos, and she makes the list this year at $44 billion net worth.
Jeez,
so
that's
holy
nice.
shit. Yeah,
cool.
Nice. So yeah, maybe we'll make it next year. Maybe we'll make it. We were just joking.
Maybe
earlier.
next year.
We weren't worth 1.2 billion. So maybe
Just
next
kidding.
year we might be. You never know.
All right, I got one here. Square sold over $500 million worth of Bitcoin in 2019, outpacing broader crypto exchange volume growth in Q4. So the payment and mobile financial service company Square reported Q4 earnings, and they included another record-breaking quarter of Bitcoin purchase volumes. Square reported more than 178 million in Bitcoin purchase volumes for the fourth quarter. For 2019 as a whole, the payments firm registered more than $516 million worth of Bitcoin sales, translating to $8 million in gross profit. You know what that means?
What does that mean?
That's all the fees that they're taking
Holy smoke.
off of that. $8 million in fees, right? Because that's how they make profit off of a Bitcoin sales fees. Less than 2% of gross profit from subscription and transaction-based services. Yeah, so it's all based on fees, right? So, yeah. And let's see, 2018, they only did about 130 million versus the 516 million this year.
Yikes.
While Bitcoin volumes still pale in comparison to larger U.S. retail crypto exchanges, the surge in Bitcoin demand at Square actually grew at a larger clip than Coinbase, which was at a 40% decline quarter over quarter, Gemini, which was minus 60 quarter over quarter, and Kraken, which had 10% growth quarter over quarter in Q4. This data is drawn from analysis by the block using data from Crypto Compare as well. So, hey, wasn't that a name of our segments?
That's exactly what it was.
Yeah. Square volumes were more in line with Binance US, which saw $250 million worth of Bitcoin volume in Q4. So, very interesting. I use so this is really through Cash App, right? That's how Square is doing this. But so I use Cash App all the time. I think it's super easy. The fees are less than Coinbase. So while they're still making $8 million, it's way less than what you'd be paying at Coinbase. Right. Anyway, so that's pretty interesting. So Cash App and Bitcoin coming up in the world.
Yeah, like it's funny you say this because I saw a bunch of people posting buying Bitcoin once it broke $9,000, like in that 80, kind of where we are right now, the 86 to $8,800 range. And I'm like, maybe I want to buy some Bitcoin because we were talking a couple of episodes ago. Like I haven't bought Bitcoin like out of pocket for quite some time, and I'm like, I kind of had the itch a little bit. And really, the only options I had were, at least quickly, were Coinbase. And I'm like, like I don't want to pay the crippling fees on Coinbase, and I wish I had Cash App. I know the fees are there, but they don't seem to be as bad as Coinbase, correct?
Right. Yes, for sure.
So, Jack, figure it out, okay? Just get me Cash App here in Canada, and what's the problem? I don't understand.
Yeah, come on.
We're loose on our regulations. It's not like come on. It's an easy target. I know we're not going to generate the millions of dollars.
We're no Finland, but
but we drink our fair share of milk. I mean,
we don't let our prisoners roam free, but
we definitely don't. But yeah, I wish there was an easier.
I think the funny thing about that is prison is big business in the United States.
Oh, it's honestly, like you were saying that, and I was thinking about that, because I think you were talking about how people recover a little bit better in Finland as far as recurring offenses and stuff like that. And I get heartbroken sometimes hearing some of the freaking horror stories in the U.S. in regards to the prison system. Not that Canada is that much better. I have a couple of uncles who are prison guards, and some of the stories I shake my head at some of their stories. Because it doesn't sound that great here either. But yeah, it is too bad. But that's enough of that. Don't go to fucking prison.
Anyway, what's your story?
I have another story about money again. This has been a financial news segment so
However,
far.
not financial
advice. Correct, not financial advice. Mind you, this article is financial advice as per this person. So the headline here is everyone should have 1% of their assets in Bitcoin, says Virgin Galactic chairman. So
Virgin Galactic sounds like, I don't know,
like a space force from 5,000 years into the future.
Exactly.
I agree. So Chamath Palihapitiya, chairman of space flight company Virgin Galactic and founder of venture firm Social Capital, has said that everyone should have at least 1% of their assets in Bitcoin. The world's largest cryptocurrency is a quote, fantastic hedge, said Palihapitiya in an interview on Wednesday. The billionaire investor added that Bitcoin is, quote, completely uncorrelated to the world and how the world works, end quote. Palihapitiya, who is also former Facebook executive, has been a longtime supporter of Bitcoin. He thinks Bitcoin is a sort of insurance that can protect in times of crisis. He's not wrong. We're seeing that in a lot of areas of the world where there is significant instability, where the Bitcoin is really taken over. Quote, you've quietly over some period of time, you have time to accumulate a position and then just never look at it again and hope that the insurance under the mattress never has to come due. But if it does, it will protect you, he says. Earlier this week, Berkshire Hathaway chairman Warren Buffett said crypto.
You're so funny.
I love Warren. Said cryptocurrency has, quote, no value. Palihapitiya disagreed with that, saying Buffett is, quote, completely wrong and outdated from this point of view. Although both billionaire investors share different opinions on Bitcoin, Palihapitiya said Buffett is a, quote, exceptional person. I've learned an enormous amount, both from afar and the few interactions we've had with him. I think it's a generational thing. I think Warren Buffett,
for sure.
I think Warren Buffett knows his days are numbered, just physically, and probably doesn't have. No, I mean, you want somebody on that death pool. Warren Buffett might not be a bad one.
I don't know, man. Like those guys with endless amounts of money can keep themselves alive for a good amount of time.
Yeah, a la Mr. Burns. I mean, that's fair.
Exactly.
But I mean, I think when I see Warren Buffett say this, to me, it just says, I won't have the time.
Old man yells at Bitcoin.
Well, not just that. It's just I think he sees I won't be able to take full advantage of the profits of Bitcoin because that may not come for another 5 to 10 years. You know what I mean?
Right. That's true.
And he may not have, I don't know. He may not have that kind of time left. And, he knows that if he keeps his, fiat position at, where it needs to be, I think that's where he can take advantage.
Time is money, but money is not time.
That is correct.
So,
yeah. So
deep thoughts.
So, I think I have for sure 1%, of my assets in Bitcoin.
Well, considering I have like 2 assets.
Right. 50% of my assets are in Bitcoin.
Considering my assets are like,
my house and my Bitcoin
laptop,
wallet.
my Yeti mic, and an apartment that I pay rent on, I think I do too.
Yeah.
Anyway, I got one more here, and it's full-blown Corona.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, we're back to full-blown Corona. This is an article from The Block, Frank Chaparro. Coinbase shares its 4-tiered coronavirus plan for employees. 4-tiered.
And this is, Coinbase?
Coinbase
Has a 4-tier plan.
For coronavirus.
For
coronavirus.
Employees. Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
What is this plan?
You ever watch The Office where they're interviewing for new managers and Will Arnett is on there?
Yes, yeah.
This, I don't know why, but this headline just reminds me. There's the part where he's like, "Oh, I have a 3-step plan that will guarantee you to double your profits." And they're like, "Well, what is it?" And he's like, I'm not gonna tell you the plan.
Yeah,
Why would I tell you the plan? You can't then you wouldn't hire me.
Right,
And
exactly.
Like, well, can you give us part of the plan? And he's like, "I'll give you part 3 of part 2." And he goes, "Color code said documents, TM." And I'm just like, that's what this is reminding me
That's
of.
amazing.
For some reason.
That's amazing.
All right. Coinbase has shared its preparation plans for various outcomes of the fast-spreading coronavirus. The virus, which has its origins in China's Wuhan region, has dominated news coverage since its emergence. The latest reports focused on the soaring number of infected people in Italy and Iran. And while the World Health Organization has yet to deem the infection a pandemic, many companies and governments are urging folks to prepare for the worst-case scenario. Coinbase, the poster child of cryptocurrency trading in the U.S., says it's planning for, quote, for a really negative outcome. Okay. Despite having an optimistic outlook, from a shared document published by CEO Brian Armstrong on Tuesday. It says in this document, our expectation is that the measured mortality rate, in parentheses, once low severity cases are included in the overall count, will fall significantly, and that we'll see limited transmission in the West, where there will be fewer, higher density, multi-generational housing situations. Okay. The firm has offices in US, Japan, UK, and Coinbase is planning for 3 phases of the disease. At this point, all of the firm's offices are in tier 0, except in Japan, which is in tier 1. I want to know what these
Is that color coded?
Color code said tiers. Quote, we have a standing crisis management team continually reviewing new information as it comes in, the document said. We have established a 4-tier escalation ladder from tier 0 to tier 3 for a response to changes that impact Coinbase offices. In the case of there being 100 instances of infected persons in the commuting radius of the Coinbase office, the firm will ask certain employees to work from home. The firm will also boost the cleaning schedule of the offices and offer mask disposal bins. Phase 2 kicks in if more than 1,000 events as above, or any government quarantine actions in the commute range of a Coinbase office, as well as the event that the measured mortality rate remains 1% or above, which is 10 times the seasonal flu. At that point, Coinbase will stop serving office meals, ban all visitors from the office, and institute a visitor health screening program. Well,
Interesting.
If there are more than 5,000 infections, Coinbase notes it will be a, quote, wild ride as containment has failed. In phase 3, all employees will be required to work from home. At this level, I'd expect our ability to use third-party services like cleaning, snacks, etc. to start to break down because of fear-driven absenteeism. I'd also expect to see regional isolation of the impacted area, Armstrong wrote. We continue to believe that the risk of coronavirus to meet most employees is low, with a slightly elevated risk due to our team in Japan. At this point, the firm has restricted travel to China, Hong Kong, Japan, Italy, and South Korea. Thoughts?
So I'm going to be honest with you. The first part of the news article, I wasn't listening because you said Wuhan province, and then my mind immediately went to, I wonder when they quarantine the Wuhan province, the Chinese government plays "Woo-ha, Woo-ha, Got You All in Check" by Busta Rhymes in the background.
What about Wuhan clan ain't nothing to fuck with?
Yeah. Wuhan, Wuhan, got you all in check.
Oh my God.
But I think it's a good plan. I heard the back half of the plan.
Color code said document.
Color code said document. I don't know. How do you feel about this in general? I think we should probably have
the coronavirus?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's I feel like it's getting more serious than we originally thought it would. I don't really know. I can't tell what's real and what's fake news.
I think it's serious. I also think it's not that serious. I mean, obviously people are dying. That's awful. I don't know. I feel like the death rate, for the places I hear people are dying, are places, in my stupid opinion, probably don't have the best healthcare system. Like I heard somebody in Iran, and people in
Well, did you see in Iran that the guy that was in charge of leading the containment came down with it?
Oh, really?
No, yeah, he was there's video going around where he was giving a press conference and he's coughing during the press conference. He's coughing on TV, and then he comes out later and says, "Oh, I have the virus."
Yeah, no shit.
How crazy.
So, I don't know. It seems bad enough. I would give it 3.5.
Strangers? 3.5 on the stranger scale?
Yeah, I think bad enough.
Wow. No, I think so too. I think, we were joking about it originally, but it's clearly pretty serious.
As for Donald, though, no problem whatsoever.
He doesn't think it's probably the easiest virus to contain. No doubt. I've got people there. They say that it's an easy virus. It's always been an easy virus. I know. I've had Corona. It's a great beer. It's probably the best beer I've ever had. Probably. Probably.
I like what he says. I hear it's not.
I hear it's a very easy virus to deal with. I love Coronas. We've got it under control. Probably.
Wow, I didn't realize we got a huge guest like the Donald on the show. But
look, man, I'll throw any impression out there and try it.
I would give it 4 strangers.
Oh wow, 4
I would give
strangers?
that one 4 strangers.
I probably could get it a little better too. That's just an off the cuff one,
Yeah, I think I've heard much worse.
Okay, good.
From people from late night hosts that.
Oh, great! All right, I'm in. I'm in on that.
My favorite late night host, though, I think, that does a good Donald is probably Seth Meyers. I think that's the one I like the most.
Oh, really? I don't know if I've seen his.
Honestly, that's where I get the majority of my news is from Seth Meyers' nightly deep dive into the political landscape of the U.S. And he's more recently he's been pretty he's been hammering on the Dems as well as Donald. So it's always pretty good.
Probably.
Yeah, you'll like his. Watch.
I like Seth Meyers.
A closer look. I watched the YouTube clips. Watch a closer look with Seth Meyers. It's very good. They usually have a couple per week.
Interesting. All right. That's going to do it for us for the news, probably, I think. And we've got one more quick hitter segment that went around Twitter yesterday that we wanted to discuss here on the podcast. Chamber, what do we got?
REKT. REKT. We got, this is from, so where I saw this from, we should give proper dues here. Dirty Dan, friend of the show.
Friend of the show.
Past guest, tweeted out, what is your decision to be foodie Twitter? Question mark. And it's an image. It says, you can only pick 3 to eat for life. And
3 to eat for life.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it is a total of 12 fast food chains. They are In-N-Out Burger, Taco Bell, Chick-fil-A, Wendy's, Burger King, Carl's Jr., Buffalo Wild Wings, Jimmy John's, Whataburger, McDonald's, Starbucks, Del Taco, Chili's, Chipotle, and Arby's. And both of us, I immediately saw this and wanted to know what your thoughts were. I gave my thoughts, but we'll start with you. What are your thoughts on this, and which 3 would you pick to eat for life?
So this actually became a topic at our dinner conversation last night with me and my wife. So I got her picks and my picks here. So
Mrs. Bunchu picks also.
Mrs. Bunchu picks, yes. So you want to hear what my wife picked first?
Yes, I do.
So I was chastised by my picks because of lack of variety.
I saw your picks.
Yes, she went with Starbucks.
Okay.
McDonald's.
Okay.
And then she was torn on her third between Taco Bell and Chick-fil-A.
All right.
But ultimately, she went with Chick-fil-A.
Okay. I would say those are the 3 most popular ones.
I would say that also gives you diversity, right? You could get your coffee. You get your coffee from Starbucks. You could even get, some breakfast there, but like you could still get McDonald's breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And then Chick-fil-A if you're, feeling more of a chicken vibe,
Sure. Absolutely.
So I went with McDonald's, Wendy's, and Chick-fil-A.
McDonald's, Wendy's, and Chick-fil-A. Now, you can get breakfast. Okay. Yeah, you can get breakfast.
I can get breakfast. Wendy's is my favorite of the fast food
It's so
burgers.
funny. We are so in sync on that one.
Yes, Wendy's is my favorite of fast food burgers. And then, I would get my chicken fix at Chick-fil-A.
Okay. So
now, if I'm going back and looking at this again, first of all, why is Chili's on here? Chili's shouldn't be on here.
it's not fast food.
I
mean, I guess there's Chili's Express, but I don't count that.
Nah, like Chili's shouldn't be on here. It's garbage, really.
Yeah.
It's the worst. It's not even fast food. The food's like medium.
It's like a medium food.
It's like medium food, probably. The other thing I was thinking about, if I went back and did this again, well, so then that means Buffalo Wild Wings should not be on this either.
Agreed.
Yeah. So I don't think those should be on here. But I guess it doesn't say only 3 fast foods. It just says only eat 3. But then, why aren't you bringing other sit-down restaurants into this,
Maybe that's the whole point is, like, they just give you, these are the options. You know what I mean?
Right. If I'm going back and changing any of my picks, the only thing I might add is Jimmy John's because I love a good sandwich.
I went to a Jimmy John's in Minnesota, and it was fucking delicious.
Yeah, it's great. So, but then I would have to knock out, I'm not willing to knock out any of the other ones for this. So I think I'm sticking with my guns here.
No, that's fair.
Should we put this out in a poll?
Yeah, no, for sure. We'll do that.
My picks, your picks, Mrs. Bunchu's.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's a good option there. Okay. So mine were kind of similar. Mine were, Chick-fil-A,
Okay.
And the reason I picked Chick-fil-A, I've actually never had Chick-fil-A.
It's delightful.
I'm only going on reputation alone. So I'm taking a leap of faith here. Pun intended. Faith-based chicken sandwich, Chick-fil-A.
It's a God-fearing chicken sandwich.
Yeah.
It's one of the best chicken sandwiches for Catholics.
Yeah. Is it Catholics? That's funny.
Catholic chicken sandwich.
Catholic chicken sandwich. So I'm going with Chick-fil-A just based on reputation. I'm going with Wendy's because that I tweeted out yesterday. I tweeted out that Wendy's had the best location to burger ratio. And
yes, so like you might, I get what you're saying there because some might argue In-N-Out is the better burger,
right?
But it's
I can't
the
go to an
locations to the amount of options for you to get In-N-Out
Correct.
are not as good as are not worth the burger ratio.
I would argue that even if you had everything on the table, I think Wendy's is the best across the board for quality burger for the amount of locations you can go to.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So
Because it's higher quality. It's higher quality than McDonald's. Clearly.
Yeah.
But the locations. I mean, there's tons. I have one right by my house, and it's great.
Yeah. Literally the closest place to me is a Wendy's.
That's the same here.
Yeah, that's funny.
Same here. I'm not saying I moved here because of it, but I'm not saying I didn't.
That's awesome. And my last pick was, maybe questionable pick, but for me, it's top notch, and that's Arby's. I love Arby's. I love curly fries. I love their roast beef sandwiches. I love their country market sandwiches.
See, yeah, you get the variety of. Yeah, that's a good variety pick. It's a good mix them up.
So the only problem with mine, though,
I feel like the locations are not as abundant on an
not
Arby's.
as abundant, correct? But I don't know. I feel Canada's got a good amount of Arby's. I felt okay about it, but not the same as Wendy's or McDonald's or Burger King. But the problem I have as I look at this, unless Chick-fil-A has it, which I'm not aware of, but I have no breakfast options. So I'm eating.
I think you can get some breakfast at Chick-fil-A. Like you can get like a chicken biscuit.
Like a chicken and waffle maybe or something?
Yeah, I think so, but I'm not 100% sure on
definitely no Wendy's. Like they may have
Wendy's
coffee.
is no breakfast.
And for the record, I might be. I think Starbucks is super overrated. I think their coffee's kind of garbage, to be honest. I know people swear by it,
Wow.
but I just as a coffee drinker, and I'm not including the lattes and the fancy drinks. I'm just saying straight coffee,
Just like a black coffee.
a black coffee or a cream and sugar, whatever. However way you take, we'll call it regular coffee. I think it's a poor quality coffee. I would argue that McDonald's has a better quality coffee.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
right.
As a coffee drinker, I think that's a better coffee.
Wow.
But hopefully Wendy's has a decent coffee because I don't have a coffee option either. So no breakfast, maybe breakfast.
Maybe breakfast.
And maybe no coffee either. So.
But you've got diversified meats.
I do have diversified meats, and really at the end of the day, that's all that really matters.
That's really what it matters. Yeah, I agree. All right, we'll put those up in a poll. Mine versus Chambers versus Mrs. Bunchu. I have a feeling Mrs. Bunchu is going to win.
Oh, no, she picked the fan favorites. She went what? Chick-fil-A, McDonald's, Starbucks?
Yeah.
100% she's winning. We're not even getting any votes.
Probably not, actually. Anyway, I think that's going to do it for us today. Do we got anything else?
I don't think so. I feel like I used up all my energy today.
It's only 8 o'clock in the morning for you.
Yeah, it sure is. I think I'm going to go back to bed and have crippling nightmares again.
Well, that's going to do it. Check us out. We'll be back next week. Was today Thursday already?
Is it?
I think so. I think today's Thursday. We'll be back next week. Check us out on coinhq.tv. Check us out at REKT_podcast on Twitter and at coinhq_ on Twitter as well. That's about it. Give us a 5-star review if you like us. If you hate us, give us a 4-star review, please. Thanks. And that's going to do it for us. And until next time, don't get wrecked, and that is financial advice.
Hey everybody, thanks for listening. You can help support us by giving us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and become a REKT patron by signing up for a monthly tier on patreon.com. That's patreon.com/REKT podcast. Don't get wrecked.